Hi guys, welcome to my channel, VeniLegiAmavi. My name is Kelsey, and I'm here to talk to you guys about some winter book recommendations. So, for the holidays, I have a very long book list, and I thought that I would share some of the books that I was going to read with you guys, and also have some other recommendations that are just kind of have like a wintry or Christmassy feel to them, because personally, I'm a little bit of a Christmas fiend, I'm not gonna lie. It's just, I get just the warm fuzzies, and I love the like winter aesthetic of like curling up on the couch with just like a sweater and a blanket and some knitting or like a scarf with a hot cup of tea and a book and Christmas lights, and that's just like, it's just like what I'm into, okay? And pair that with like my warm fuzzy feelings about all of my Christmas traditions with my family and my friends and my partner, and that's just what I'm about, I guess. So today let's just talk about some different kind of wintry vibey books. So the book that I just finished reading is The We Free Men by Terry Pratchett. This book series is my favorite. They are so good. So the more Discworld that I read, the more I appreciate and love it. We just read this book for book club together, and it was amazing. It was so interesting to see all of the different opinions on this book, because Pratchett has a very distinct writing style that I absolutely love. To me, the most important thing in a novel is the characters. If I don't care about your character, I do not give a fuck. Like, actually, none whatsoever. But if you have interesting characters who are constantly developing and learning and changing, that's what I'm into, and that's what I look for in a novel, Like, I would happily just watch all of my favorite characters interacting and like growing and learning about themselves and each other. For the rest, like, that's all I need in a book. Like, all right, goodbye. That's, I don't really care about the plot. A good plot interests me and brings me in, but to me, characters are like the number one important thing. I need them to be flawed, and I need them to be learning and growing and just okay. So for me, Tiffany Aching is such an interesting character, and such like, she draws you in, and she just, she shares so much of herself with you, and also introduces you to other characters like Granny Aching, and she introduces her so well and gives you such like a good feel for her, and it's such a good book. But anyway, so The We Free Men follows a young girl named Tiffany Aching. Tiffany Aching basically decides that she wants to grow up and be a witch. So that's her plan in this book, and it's basically about her journey of her trying to stand up for the land and for the people who live in on the Chalk, which is basically where she grows up. So it's amazing. It is the characters in this book are so strong and so interesting, and there are some really cool concepts that are introduced in The We Free Men. There are some fun, clever puns that some people love and some people absolutely hate. So it was really good book club discussion, actually, because the people who loved this book loved this book, and the people who didn't really didn't. So it was cool to kind of sit down and talk about it, and basically what it came down to, I think, is what we wanted in a book. So the people who were really into characters loved the book, and the people who were looking for a more plot-driven style of book, and who really liked the idea of hard magic instead of soft magic, which is like really rules-intensive magic rather than a more like suspend your disbelief for us style of magic, which was really cool, because we just really got to know each other better as readers, and ourselves as well a little bit. So that was a really interesting look into it. I feel like my camera's like tilted, but I don't know how to fix that yet, so you guys are just gonna have to live with like a weird, like slightly off frame if this is as tilted as it looks to me, like from here. Oh well, it's fine. I'll figure it out. Sorry, I've got a new tripod, so it's kind of a new setup, in case you couldn't tell from the fact that you're further away from me, and I'm also like standing. I guess I could be filming this over there. Maybe I'll film this in front of my Christmas scene. Christmas like mantle. Give me a moment, I'll be back. All right, how's this for a Christmassy background? Yeah. So, where was I? Right, so first off, ignore that calendar behind me that says September, okay? I need to bring a chair over here to change it, and I haven't. It's fine, it's not December 1st yet. So it's only a little bit shameful, right? What were we talking about? We were talking about The We Free Men. So yeah, book club had some really interesting discussions about it, and some really, there were some really strong criticisms and some really strong kind of opinions the other way. So it was really interesting to kind of sit down and hear the way that different people read the book. Some people took things a lot more literally, or other people took things more figuratively, which is a really interesting discussion brought up by a book like this, which has such an interesting plot hook and such an interesting kind of style of kind of building climax. For those of you who have read it, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, probably, maybe, because, they deal with things that, anyway, you know what? No, it's fine. I'm not going to spoil it. It's fine. You guys will just have to read it and try to figure out what I mean. But yes, so I highly recommend this book. The second book, actually, A Hatful of Sky, which I have, but it's in my other bookshelf, I think. A Hatful of Sky is, I think, literally my all-time favorite book. I adore that book, and it is absolutely going to be one of the books that I have a tattoo of at some point in the future. I absolutely highly recommend these books, and I will talk about them forever because Tiffany, she's my girl, man. She's so good. Look at this. She's wielding a frying pan on the cover, okay? That's amazing. So, moving on, one of the other books that we have in our holiday winter recommendation list is Michael Morpurgo's The King of the Cloud Forest. King of the Cloud Forest takes place during the war, and it is about a young child who is raised in China who has to flee. So he goes into some of the Tibetan mountains with a family friend of his. It's about some of his adventures up in the mountains. It is a book that's far more about cultural adaptation and different cultures and kind of learning more about another culture than it is a book about characters or plot. It is a children's book, and it is, I think it's lovely. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely not it's not a particularly extensive novel, as you can tell by the size of it, and it is, a children's book. But it is fun and whimsical and interesting, and I just think that it is worth reading. And, again, like up in the Tibetan mountains, there's definitely a little bit of winter in this book here. One of the other books that I haven't read yet that I'm excited to read is The Bear and the Nightingale. This is the book that we're doing for book club for January. So none of us have read this book yet. I've heard such good things about it, and I'm really hoping that it lives up to the hype that I've heard, because I've heard some pretty good things. But my understanding is it's kind of a dark fairy tale that takes place during a Russian winter. So I'm really excited for it. Yes, it's by Catherine Arden, and it looks really good. I've heard nothing but good things, so I hope that it is good. And I also hope that it kind of brings up some good discussions for our book club, because I recommended this one to everyone and I recommended it blind. So here's hoping. Yeah. So some of the books that I would like to recommend that I don't have with me would be The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's pretty wintry. I haven't read those books for a long time, and I don't even remember really if I finished the series. But I should reread them. So there's that. I also highly recommend The Golden Compass. As many of you probably know, it's definitely got some nice cold winter themes going on, or scenes, because one of the coolest characters is, just read it. If you haven't read it, just read it. I don't even really want to tell you anything about it. I just want you to go in and experience the joy that is The Golden Compass. So I've got 3 more books. One of them is much slower and much smaller, so I will kind of finish with that one, I think. But one of the other books that's quite small is Terry Pratchett's Father Christmas's Fake Beard. I have never read this, but Declan and I picked it up together to read over the holidays together because it looks amazing. The cover looks very fun, and it's Terry Pratchett. So, you know, for me, trusting an author is a really big deal. I've read a few different books where I just like really didn't like the novel, and I really felt like let down by some of the ways that the authors tried to tackle things, or some of the ways that they developed their novels going forward. And for me, it's a really big deal, like trusting the author. And Terry Pratchett, from what I've read, like he's just amazing. Like his earlier books were definitely a little bit flat compared to his, like the later books. Like, and I don't mean really late, like the Discworld is like a 40 book series or something. So like I started with the very first book and read like 10 pages into the second book. And those books just weren't as strong, but you can tell it's him figuring out exactly what he wants from the series and exactly like what he wants from the world. But when you get into like Mort or Weird Sisters or The Wee Free Men, like all of those books are so solid and so good that I just trust him. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think that it'll be fun and cute and quick, and it's not a very big book, and I just think that it's gonna be good. The kind of tagline on the back of the book says, "Have you ever wanted Christmas to be different? Dive into the fantastically funny world of Sir Terry Pratchett for a festive treat like no other. You'll never see Christmas in the same way again." So, you know, that just sounds fun to me. Let's do it. Let's do it, Hogfather. Which is a good segue because I haven't read The Hogfather yet. So naturally, that is going to be the book that I read over December. I am super excited. My understanding is, the premise is Santa Claus goes missing and Death has to fill in. So that's going to be amazing. I have seen a few spoiler-esque quotes from it, and it sounds so good. Guys, I'm so excited. I wanted to read this last year, but didn't end up having time, so I made sure that I had all of the other books finished, including Soul Music, which is the kind of prequel Death book to The Hogfather, and it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. I'm trying to read The Lies of Locklemore right now, but I might just put it down and pick up Hogfather and then go back to it. And like, I really am enjoying Lies. It's a really solid read so far, but Hogfather. Okay? Yeah, this is so exciting. I'm so stoked for this read, guys. There aren't even words. I feel like this is everything I've ever wanted from a novel, and I haven't even read it yet. Okay? This is it. This is the pinnacle of Christmas winter books. This is the best. I haven't read it, but I trust that it is the best. Look at it. Do you see that? Look at that cover, okay? It's the night before Hogswatch, and it's too quiet. So the last book that I would recommend reading, because we read it together every year at the on Christmas Eve, my entire family turns out all the lights in the house except for the Christmas lights over our mantle and on our Christmas tree, and we all sit down and read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas together. We have a really old book with such beautiful art. I'll try to like link or like put in some of the pages maybe, or the cover, because it's just fabulous. And we all sit down and read it together, and then we try to see who can like recite the most lines without looking and like cheating again. And then we just like laze around and chill in the living room with like only the Christmas lights on, and it's just cozy and warm and lovely, and we have tea or hot chocolate or whatever your festive drink of choice is. And have I mentioned that I just like live for Christmas? Like, I was planning this year's Christmas last year, pretty much. So yeah. Oh yeah, so I guess, so as you can tell, my hair has gone orange, pretty much. Yeah, orange. It was pink recently, and to be honest, I really loved the pink, but I wanted, like, I've just really enjoyed trying new things and figuring out exactly what colors I like. Honestly, so far, I've liked all of the colors I've gone. I did blue, pink, and purple, and all of those were amazing, and I am not used to this yet because I literally had it done today, but I am really enjoying, like, how it looks, like, when I, like, look down at it, you know? But yeah, so the orange is fun. I like to get it dyed something fresh and new and exciting right before Christmas. So yeah, this Christmas it's going to be orange, which means I will probably be wearing my green Santa hat. Anyway, so yes, I am super excited for Christmas, and my hair is orange, so that's new. Yeah, I'm just excited. So what do you guys think about the books that I listed? Have you read most of them? Have you not? I know that I am super excited about Christmas, and I love kind of the books that take place in like snowy places and books that like have that kind of cold feeling to them. So let me know down below if there are any books that you would recommend that I check out for this year or next year, depending on how insane it is. Like I said, I'm always planning Christmas like a year ahead, but regardless. So yeah, let me know what books you would recommend for the winter down below, and I look forward to hearing what you guys think. Lovely to talk to you. Until next time, bye.